Okay, here is part 3 of the Master Grade Gundam Vitrue review. On part 1, we looked at the Gundam Vitrue itself, and in part 2, we looked at the Gundam Nadleeh itself. And now, on part 3, we are going to apply the armor on Nadleeh to become Gundam Vitrue. So, at the moment, I did a few things. I pre-assembled a few things. Number one, the parts that had double, basically that had the left and right side, I already applied one on each side. So for the leg, I already applied one armor on one side, which is the right leg, and then on the arms and main body I already applied the left part of the part, so I can save a little bit of time. So and once again, if it wasn't really obvious, you need to take off those cables or hair strands from the head in order to apply the armor. So let's see what we got. So since because of the legs we are not really in balance, so let's apply the legs first so that we can match the balance of the kit. So number one, we have these feet parts. The feet parts are pretty much very simple. You just need to apply the front part here. You slide them in front, and then also same goes for the back. You slide them inside, and there you go. You have the feet there. And then make sure when you're applying the leg armor, you have to make sure that this part here is facing upwards like this, because it won't fit perfectly without that going upward. So number one, you take this part off, you split these two parts, and then you put the back one first, and then you put the now, as I mentioned, if it's not on top, this won't actually fit. So make sure the part is upwards right over here, and then you pretty much once you match that part up, you pretty much clamps the two pieces together. Come on. Now, doing this in front of camera is kind of tricky time to time, but I'm not sure why I'm having so much hard time doing this in front of camera. So, there you go. Nope, that's not it yet. So, there we go. So, once you have it in there, now that's supposed to be a very simple process, but I don't know why there was a part that was just colliding with each other. Once you have the two parts connected, then you apply the GN field part onto the leg. Now there is a left and right over here, because obviously there's a round part here, so make sure this round side is actually there. So once that's there, you just need to clip it on. Make sure you go all the way through so that it has a full connection here. So then there you go, we're done with the legs. Let's get rid of the really large parts first so that we can ease on. I'm not sure if this is ideal, because the way when you're first building this, originally how the manual works is that you start from the head, body, legs, and then arms. So yeah, there is a process. I'm not sure if it's really necessary to follow that, but let's see what we got. So the front skirts are pretty much simple. You get this part entirely, just clip it on there, and you should be good to go. There you go. It just clips on there. And then same goes for the back skirt here. There's actually a clipping point right over here, and you see the peg there. You just need to connect the two parts there, and there you go. You have the lower sections complete. Alright, so now actually before that, let's take this part off first, because I just remembered that we need to do something on the body first. So let's do these on the bottom. But that's the way how you're supposed to do it originally. So let's start with the main body here. So we have these black parts here. Now in order to apply these, you need to extend the arms to come out like this. You need to extend them first, because that would allow them to have some clearance for these pieces to actually go inside there. And then once you have the front end, then you have to also cover up the back section right over here. So so this is basically locking the pieces in place, so where they're supposed to be. So once you have them in there, make sure to push it back in there. And then we have these parts. Now originally in the manual they tell you to apply the white piece up front first, but I don't think it really matters. So once again, you apply I'm going to apply the one that goes onto the back first, and then there should be, whoops, dropped one piece, and then you're supposed to apply this white piece here. So we're almost close getting to that, typical Vitrue chest form. So now this is the part that was kind of interesting for me. I'm still not sure how this connects, but there's these, they're not holes, but there's these small moldings in here. You just need, and then you just push this piece in there, and it just clips onto them for some, I don't know how, but it just clips on there, and it doesn't fall off that easily. So once again, kind of an interesting piece if you ask me, but that's that. And there you go. Now let's look. So I would say for the first time, these body parts would be the most complicated. That might feel complicated, but once you get to know them, it's kind of easier. So the rest is that there's one more piece for the body. So you're supposed to apply these to the onto the body here, but let me just extend these parts here. Maybe I should have done this first, but oh well. There we go. So you apply this one here. Now these two pieces will connect with each other, but there's another piece that will pretty much finalize the whole locking mechanism here. So, oh boy, my hands. There we go. So once you have it in there, oh boy. Let me just pull this part a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, every time I try to do reviews like this does become a little bit messy. So once you have these two parts here, there you should have a black piece like looking like this, and you should be good to go by pushing them together. Whoops, wrong way. And this would lock those two pieces in places, and there you go. All right, now I think we should be safe to apply these two parts. So let's apply this first. There we go. Yeah, because you need to apply that first, because there is actually a red peg that becomes a peg here, so that connects to this hole right over here. So it is essential for that piece to be inside first. I think that should be it, and then we apply the front skirt right over here. And yeah, we're almost done. So for the shoulders, now when you're first originally building this, you would have a single piece up front. You have a piece up front and back, and then you will connect these two with the top piece right over here. I tried to divide these, but these parts would not just pop out easily. So apparently I can just slide them in like that, and I'm good to go. And for the arms, you would have this part. You divide them like that, and you obviously pretty much apply the front section. Make sure there is a small tab here that kind of wants to go inside time to time. Make sure that's coming like that, and then you apply that, and then you apply the back section, and you're done with the arms. Now the fun part was the head for me, at least. So number one, if I remember correctly, on the V-fin you apply another larger V-fin, you cover up the smaller V-fin, and bam. And then there's the face cover right over here. Oh, actually, before the face cover, originally you're supposed to apply the headpiece right over here. So I think it was the other way around. Yeah. So you apply this headpiece, and then on the back there is another piece here, which there are these two holes on the back of the head here, and then there's these two holes here. So obviously what you do is you apply those, you'll connect that, and finally for the face cover, there we go. And you cover up the face, and there you go. You have the whole face covered up in that fat form. And then you finally apply the backpack. And there you go. You have Gundam Vitrue. So obviously the process isn't too bad. I mean, most of the process is easy. Of course, there is a single process where you need to apply these body parts in order to apply the back skirt. So there is a slight, you just need to remember that part is, yeah, some parts have to come first before the other ones. But other than that, it's a pretty simple armor application. So I think Bandai did a very good job here, although I really hope this balance issue is just coming from mine. But other than the balance issues, I'm very satisfied with this kit, especially with Master Grade Gundam Nadleeh. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. So this was part 3 of the Master Grade Gundam Vitrue review. If you want to see each individual reviews for each mobile suit, do check out my previous part 1 and part 2 review. And thank you for watching this part 3 review as well. I have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.